Absolutely.
So yes, so we intertwine, we interlink. So definitely when they move into Burkina Faso, I mean, it will also move down to Ghana. So their problem is our problem.
True. I agree with you. 0260846539 is the WhatsApp number. We're also streaming live on Facebook, facebook.com/Pan-African Television. My name again is Kwame Owusu. So please, 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 don't forget to send me your messages. I'll read them for you here on the show. Now, let us come back to our dear nation, Ghana, and begin to have a conversation about violence and some pockets of violence that have characterized the registration process, which has woken up persons who were hitherto in their stupor to the realization of a possibility of the resurgence of vigilantism. And indeed, the security couple has cautioned and is bringing our attention to the happenings at the various registration centers about the possibility of the re-emergence of vigilantism. And indeed, this statement was made forcefully as a result of the killing of the gentleman in Banda. Very sad story. A very young man who was about to start out life, gave up the ghost as a result of persons who were in disagreement about, people who have been bused from other places to other places to go and register and things like that. I think that we shouldn't have gotten to this point, but it's happened. What are the lessons that we must learn from these experiences? I want to respectfully start with you, Sabo, and ask you, your personal opinion on this subject matter. Now, I can agree with you that, of course, if you have these two leading political parties having to disagree, and they feel that they do not have so much confidence in the security agencies, and therefore they have to be their own security, and that will result in the death of an innocent person, then I think it must be condemned at all levels. I don't know what your thought would be, particularly because we are also getting into an election. Well, we're actually, getting there, because December 7th is just about 4 months away, and the killing of this gentleman has brought in its wake some very repulsive, statements made by the National Youth Organizer of the NDC, for instance. I want us to have politics of sanity, where people can disagree amicably, based on opinions, based on ideas, based on policies, as opposed to disagreeing based on who is strong and who is not strong and who is this and who is that. I mean, it doesn't augur well for the development experiment that we've been embarking upon over this or 2 decades or something like that, or like over this within this period. I don't know what I'm very scandalized, and I'm scared. Really. I mean, I'm scared about the many things that may come out if care is not taken. If we are not able to deal with these matters now, the many of such altercations that will ensue that will perhaps lead to the death of many Ghanaians when we are having the election proper.
Thank you, Kwame. Before I come on this issue, let me quickly just make this thing. My regards to my elder brother, Honorable ABF,
yeah,
and I wish him well.
Absolutely.
Wherever he is, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be with him. And then, of course, my brother Benamona, Kwame, there's something that I'm not getting. I think I sat in your listening and said it some time ago. You can see how Benamona has actually contributed immensely for the political destiny of NDC and the rest.
Yes.
And anytime he goes to contest, candidates against him. Yeah. This tells you, I mean, this kind of dishonesty and of course betrayal. I don't know why my brother also still have that heart to still continue to be in bed with them. This is not the first time that they have done it to him.
Yeah,
and they have done it to him again. And I believe if they have not followed a candidate, he would have had an allowance to also be around Accra and the rest. But because of this, I mean, he's locked up north.
Yeah.
Yes, I can only wish him well for the NDC to reason with him. But of course, I can never wish him well to win the seat. After that one, we are there. When it comes, we will not actually, what do you call it, handle him lightly. But I think all things being equal, if look, Park was Dr. Kwape Sindum, if you remember, He even just thought he didn't even say anything for MPP, but he was somehow a sympathizer of the MPP. We didn't throw a candidate against him. When you come to Burinab, what the name? Ndabugri. We did the same thing for him. And we can count the number of people that we seeded our seats for them just because they were tilted towards us a bit. But this man is even more than most of their national executives when it comes to contributing for the what they call it, the agenda of NDC.
And yet they're fielding the candidates against him.
Oh yes,
unbelievable.
And they are seriously campaigning against him.
Unbelievable.
Yes, but they will come on the airwaves and then behaving like I mean, he's a brother. Well, that is just by the way.
No, but I think we need to wage a campaign.
Well, I've told him several. If you remember on your set here, I said it some time ago on your set here, and in fact, and he agreed with me. Well, I mean, with vigilantism, I'll be very much surprised and upset if it is still around with us. From day one, I have never supported it. In fact, Kwame, you can go through my programs with you here when it comes to these issues. And you can even go to other media houses. I have never supported it from day one. In fact, one day I had to talk, I think, and I've always said, one day I had to talk of vigilantism in Accra here. Some of us were at the forefront, not political vigilantism, but communal vigilantism. In fact, some of us were at the forefront. We formed the Owusu is the Nima, this and that they used to call them Isakaba.
You are part of it.
Oh, yeah, who were the leadership? Who were the leadership of Isakaba? It was East Owusu Neighborhood, what they call Watch Dog Association. But because of our mode of operations, then people name us Isakaba. Because we're after criminals. We were actually looking for criminals. And if you are not from Nima and somebody's in Nima, I mean, decide to take something from you or is trying to cheat you and you come and see us, we will fish the person out and make sure that justice is served and the rest. You see? But we never politicize it. In fact, it was a blend of NDC and PP, and we're working hand in hand with the police. May he so rest in peace. Is it DSP or ASP? Awuni, if you remember. That no-nonsense man. That was the time he was the Nima divisional commander and the rest. So, when this thing got to political, myself, I've always had problem with our own vigilantes in our party because I've always condemned them. That means I don't subscribe to this. Well, I mean, I'm here. I am. I move around. I do everything free. I don't have any bodyguard. My house. I don't. In fact, maybe my house. I only think of a thief, not somebody actually looking for me or coming after my life. Because I have not done anything that will actually warrant for somebody to be looking for me to do anything. So at least when we all live a decent life, then we all have a very peaceful way of doing things. But Kwame, let me say this. It's sort of unfortunate what happened in Banda, but I'm not surprised that it has gotten to where it is now. If you remember, I think at the early stages, or was it the middle day of this registration, there was a picture circulating on social media with blood all over the face of a gentleman who was identified as the constituency organizer of MPP in that particular area. That is it Banda or where? Esutifi, yes. Is it not where is this man Collins Dauda?
Dauda is in South.
Exactly. So that's the place. All over his distance. So I was of the view that the district security, what they call it, committee, together with the district police command, could have taken this matter seriously and get to the root. Just like I said earlier on, maybe they might have just given it a surface dressing by way of cautioning whoever was involved and the rest, and then just leave it like that. But up to date, I don't know. Nobody was even brought to book as to who actually did that. And once such things happens, what happens is that the public loses trust in the security. And for that matter, everybody will arm himself to protect himself. Because if a whole constituency organizer is beaten and nothing has been done, well, how much may a police station executive or even Bob no rank in the party? So people will begin to find things to protect themselves. And that is what normally results into this. Let me tell you something, Kwame. If I don't have any powers any juju for war. I will never wish for war. But if I have powers, I have juju that I believe that when there's war, I will survive. I'll always be the first person to pull a trigger when the slightest distance. Any man that is armed is always ready for any confrontation. But an armed man is more careful and more sober, and then, of course, also very patient. But if you allow people to think to the extent that they begin to arm themselves, then what it implies that they are ready for battle. So even the least distant provocation, then they just start it. And I believe that is what has taken us to where we are now. It's sort of unfortunate. When I even went further and I went check the background of the guy who died, in fact, I almost wept.
Yeah.
That he's just a student.
Yeah.
And the MP, one way or the other, just helped him in his career. And the fact that he's been identified with the MP, that was his crime. It's sort of unfortunate that it happened this way. But I don't think it is just those who committed that act that should be dealt with, but those who were also supposed to make sure that the right thing is put in place for us to enjoy an absolute, atmosphere of peace, should also be dealt with. Even if it was me calling for their heads. I think this thing should be done before we move into the heat of campaign itself. If there should be any campaign even, maybe this time around it will be virtual campaign because of COVID-19 and what have you. So, Kwame, we should all condemn it, being it MPP or who. And I think there should also be I don't know what the National Peace Council is also doing about this vigilantism, or whether there had also been some code of conduct or some kind of ethics that based on we agreeing that we have dissolved vigilantism. Individuals can also not just get some people like bodyguards around them saying that they are doing this thing for self-protection, it is not vigilantism and the rest. Because for all you know, there may be about 2 or 3 people following the member of the parliamentary candidate, but there may be a reserve somewhere waiting for reinforcement. So yes, you may say that he can have 1 person or 2 people to protect him, but when there's skirmishes, you see these 2 people multiplying to about 300, 400, 600 from nowhere. Kwame, it's very unfortunate that this time around you will not find them in their t-shirts where you can easily visibly identify them. They are now just like me and you. So when they are even standing by you, you will not know that these people are in for this kind of work. So I believe the security need to up their games, and then the district security, is it council or committee?
The regional security council.
No, the district one.
Yeah.
I think this one we should narrow it to the district most often, because the constituencies are normally in the district.
Yeah.
And then the candidates and the members of parliament normally work with the district and the rest. So that they should beef up their security, vigilantes. And then also make sure that all parties are brought, and then some kind of code of conduct is spelled out to them and they sign it. So regardless of who committed, whether you identify the one and the one is coming from your side, you will be held responsible.
Yeah.
There's no need for us to even look for the one who committed the crime.
Yeah.
But the leader of the one who committed the crime will pay for whatever crime that is being committed. I believe in that order we'll be able to conduct ourselves very well. Because Kwame, I can decide to just take my bag today. I'm going to Tamale. Already I have assigned some boys to do something tomorrow. Meanwhile, I've taken my bag to Tamale. You call me in Tamale and say that your name has been mentioned here. And I say, Kwame, where am I speaking from? Right now, as I'm speaking to you.
You're in Tamale?
I'm in Tamale. So why? Am I an angel or something? How are you getting me?
Yeah.
And no, I mean, it will be difficult for any law to be able to get, unless, of course, there's some kind of recording or something of that sort that they can link me up to that particular crime. So we know of all these things that people can easily do it. Kwame, one thing that we normally fail to understand is that as I sit here, a large number of my family members are in NDC. Some of them, I don't know them until an issue happens before maybe they will let you know that, oh, this is your nephew, this is your niece, this is your brother, this is your uncle. Do you get me that?
Yeah.
Quite apart from that, we call ourselves Ghanaians. Why do we call ourselves Ghanaians? Is it not because we are related, we have a common interest? Yes, I will not dispute the fact that wherever there's an interest, there's a conflict. But The Dogombes have some saying that the fight of the goats, they don't normally do it brutally. They will jump very high and then come softly because they know they may come together tomorrow again. So they need not hurt themselves. But for us, even as human beings, the little provocation, we want to just finish the person. We just want to wipe the person out of the surface of the earth. And at the end of the day, Kwame, the question I normally ask myself is that what do you gain from it? And somebody said something. I also want to repeat it with all due respect. Macho men should forgive me. Somebody ever asked, have you ever seen the richest macho man before? Somebody who lifted macho and now is now very rich, or somebody who beat people and is now very rich. And it is true. In fact, it went through my mind that I've never heard of any strong man through beating of people. He's now one of the richest people or one of the most prominent.
Mayweather.
No. That one is professional. It is guided by rules and regulations. I'm talking of just getting somebody because we are strong. Like what is happening? Because this killing of this innocent guy, those who attacked him feel like they are strong. There's nobody.
10 cedi, 15 cedis.
I mean, very bad.
Maximum 100 cedis.
He is gone. For all you know in his family, he's the only person. Or maybe he's the eye of the family. Now you've taken him off. Not even him. What about those who were actually depending on him? Or even those who spent money for him to get to where he is? And when you go and lie on your pillow, how do you think? Especially when you have it in mind that one day you also return to your maker.
True.
What answer do you give to your maker? So I think we shouldn't let politics divide us. I've always placed religion and relationship ahead of politics. And that is the only way we can work together, even with different views as a nation.
Solid presentation by all standards from Sabah. Let me say a special felicitation and salutation going to our incoming MP for Nalerugu Gambaga constituency, Honorable Alhaji Baba Seidu Isifu, aka the People's Man.
Candidate or incoming?
The People's Man. The People's Man.
Why is he elected?
The People's Man.
Oh.
The People's Man. Good morning to you, Alhaji Baba Seidu. You are watching us from Nalerugu Gambaga. Special good morning to you and all the people in Nalerugu Gambaga constituency. I'm super excited this morning that you're watching because you know when I was there the last time, you embraced me with an open arm, and I'm forever grateful to you. In fact, now my third home is Nalerugu Gambaga. My first home is in Uti region, which is Akabwe. My second home is in Elmina, and my third home is Nalerugu Gambaga. Nalerugu Gambaga. And I'm coming there to campaign for my big brother and friend Alhaji Baba to win that seat. He's won. Actually, he's won. Even I'll bring Sabo to come and campaign. I'll bring Sabo to come and campaign. We need people who can do the job. Go and do the job, not make promises and not do anything.
I would like to collate the results for him on the...
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. I mean, that would be awesome.
I know what will happen.
I know. Anyway, so Alhaji Baba Seidu Isifu, good morning to you, sir. I trust you are healthy. You have to be healthy because after you win the job, it dey ground. You have to make sure you fulfill your promises. I know you can fulfill it, but you have to be ready to fulfill all. Otherwise, we will beat you. Anyway, let's now hear from you, Justice Appear, on this subject matter.
All right, Kwame, thank you so much. Vigilantism, where do I start from? Kwame, I'll start from commitment on the part of politicians to make sure that issues of vigilantism are dealt with appropriately. But I have seen with time that politicians do not have the will to deal with such issues. So sometimes the likes of Sabo and other politicians should spare us the rhetorics. They'll come and sit, talk, as if they can do something about some of these issues, yet the platform is in their hands and they are unable to do absolutely nothing about that. If I've not seen anything at all, Kwame, I have seen Ayawaso West Wuogon. If I have not seen anything at all, I have seen, vigilante group vandalized a court, drag a judge out, move their people out, and the only, And the only fines that were slapped on them is paying 1,200 Ghana cedis. How would that deter anybody to, you know, as a matter of fact, not engage him or herself in that act, Kwame? Now, let's go to Owusu West Wuogon. What happened? We saw, you know, shootings and all of that. Afterwards, a committee was actually set up, and I'm talking about the Justice Emil Short committee that was set up. As part of the recommendations, I believe that they recommended and advised political parties to disband vigilante groups in them. Did they do that? We were having conversation on how some of these groups are going to be disbanded in the political parties. What has happened to that? And so, if you ask me, I think that the chunk of what is supposed to be done is actually, you know, at the doorsteps of politicians. And so if they have been unable to arrive at a decision by saying that, look, these groups, whether in NDC, whether in MPP, whether they are in CPP or PNC, they are going to be disbanded. If politicians decide that, look, we are not going to finance some of these people, how are they going to operate? They cannot operate. But you have these same politicians behind some of these groups perpetrating crimes, and after that is done, nothing is done about the crimes they have perpetrated. And we sit here, talk as if we can do something about it. When we have the platform, we are behind them, we support them, we finance them to cause mayhem, chaos in the country. A 28-year-old guy. Today, where is he? He has lost his life because, well, some other quarters are alleging that he was campaigning for a certain candidate, and persons believed, or thugs, hoodlums beliefs to have been affiliated to the New Patriotic Party, decided to, you know, murder the gentleman. Whichever way, what is his crime? What did he do to warrant, I mean, you know, some of these things and all of that? For me, I think that commitment on the part of political parties to disband some of these groups is a key. I mean, it's something that they must consider. It's something that when they have the platform, when they are given the mandate, they should be able to work on. So what happened? I mean, the New Patriotic Party and then the National Democratic Congress. In fact, I think the National Peace Council, or, you know, met on this same issue of disbanding vigilante groups. What has happened to that? We have just 4 months to election, to the general elections, and these groups are still operating in this country. What do you think would happen in, you know, the 2020 elections? It is even going to be worse than what has happened at Owusu West Wuogon. You talked about an MPP, is he constituency secretary or whatever, you know, beaten to the pulp at Esutifin South. But you have actually forgotten to also speak about the fact that the Honorable Member of Parliament for Esutifin South, Honorable Collins Dada, was also attacked. You didn't talk about that. He was pepper sprayed, a Member of Parliament. He is not more of a human than any other person. But when we are talking about attacks and all of that, we must properly situate all those things. You have talked about the one who has been attacked from your party, but you have actually forgotten to mention that the Member of Parliament was also attacked and pepper sprayed. If the political parties do not go back to the drawing table to spell out the rules and make sure that they are committed to what they have agreed on, to disband some of these, excuse my language, hoodlums, I don't think that we are going to find any headway to some of these issues. Pockets of, you know, violence have actually broken at some registration centers. Why must that happen? Just to go and register, vote in the upcoming elections, we are fighting. Purposely because we would have to go and vote for somebody's father to become a president. Why? Purposely because I should go and queue, register, vote, and give somebody's father a job. Why? Politicians should spare us. You must spare us. If you don't have anything better, and I won't single out any political party, because both the NDC and the MPP have ruled this country. Both the NDC and the MPP are having these vigilante groups in them. If you don't have anything better to offer the good people of Ghana, stop, causing mayhem and chaos. Let us live in peace. So we shouldn't come and sit here and paint a picture as though we are doing something about vigilante groups and we will try as much as possible in a way to condemn it, to look as if we care so much about Ghanaians. If you care about Ghanaians, this is the time. What is the MPP doing about the Delta forces, the Burger Bulldogs and all those vigilante groups in them? What is the NDC also doing about the Hawks and all those other vigilante groups in them? Spare us.
Well, you want to respond to a few things, please.
Please. I have a lot to respond to.
Okay.
In the first place, I want him to understand he spoke more than a propaganda secretary. Not to be frank with you, if somebody listened to me speaking and listened to him to be speaking, the person will even mistake me not to be a party person, but somebody speaking on a national platform. I never apportioned blame to any side. I was looking at the morality of the act. But if he's compelling me to go that way, it's sort of unfortunate the NDC rep is not here, but he's actually putting them there.
Let's go there.
Yes. He's compelling me to go there. In this country, like I said, I started by saying that if you want to cure a problem, you must look for the root cause. We are all aware who started vigilantism in this country. 1996, you remember the killing of our people in Ashanti region itself, and were packed broad daylight in a pickup, dead bodies, innocent people, just because they are supporting a party. We didn't even form vigilante in 2000. In 2000, we saw what happened in the north, even on GTV, somebody shooting somebody. And you tell me, Kwame, not to arm myself the next time, when those who are supposed to protect me are not doing it. Quite apart from that, let me just narrow it down to what he has just said. At SUTP, the pepper spray on Collisdaude's face, the beating of the regional the constituency organizer preceded the pepper spraying. So it was just a response and not an act. It was a response to an act. The killing of that young guy, he was talking and he started making such an example in Owusu, West Wagon. Let me tell you one thing. We are all Ghanaians, and at least we all want to have a better Ghana. But let me tell you, if my life is threatened, I don't care who you are. If you threaten my life, I don't care who you are. That one I must tell, I can't kill an ant, I can't slaughter a fowl. Those who know me very well. I have never slaughtered an animal. But I swear God, if you threaten my life, I can slaughter you and even lick the blood. But is that how we want to go? Let's call a spade a spade. If it is NDC MPP, the blood that runs through you is the same blood that is running through him. I said here that the gentleman, I even made examples, like some family members might have, even if not he himself, even those who spent money on this young man to be somebody in the near future. For all you know, he's the eye of the family. You've come to take off the life of that person just like that. I am not one of the hypocrite politicians. I thought you would have known me by now. In fact, I did all my politics in Owusu East, and I'm on screen. When I went to register, there was a queue. But it's because of the way you conduct yourself, both NPP and NDC agents, all of them, when I told them that, I was coming, a different platform. I was going for a program. So I told them that, I'm going for a program, but I want to just come and report myself so that later when I come, I'll have an access to it. So, no, honorable, it's just 5 minutes. Just come and sit down and do it. When I finished, the letter that was on me, what I gave to the MPP agent is the same thing I gave to the NDC agent. Well, am I not a politician? Am I not contesting against NDC? Why am I arming them? If that's the thinking you are putting across. I also West Wagon, when this thing happened, it happened before me, I moved there. when I went there, I was standing with NDC guys, all of us talking about the issue. Why? If I also want to do those things, why? Isn't there bone in me? Can't I do it? Or is it that I'm a coward? That is why I am actually trying to sober myself, although I'm a hypocrite, because once I'm a politician, I'm a hypocrite, but I'm a coward, so I can't do it. That is why I am going that way. No. So if you say, yes, of course, there are some politicians, of course, what they are doing, I have sat here. Some members of my party have done so many things, I've sat here to condemn them. I've sat on this your platform to condemn them. That one is hypocrisy. Ever since NDC came to power up to the time they left, I want a single person from NDC to even make a phone call and tell me that the person saw me at a ministry. Though I'm a Ghanaian, I have every right to go to any ministry to ask for any assistance. I don't do it because I want any favor from any person. I do it because I love my country. It's for the love of my country that I'm doing it. It is not for any parochial interest or for just my party to win. I believe in my party because I believe the party can actually propel the fortunes of this country to the height that we all desire it to be. That is why I'm in my party. Not that I hate NDC. Nonetheless, if NDC is not there, I will not feel comfortable in NPP because I'll be taken for granted. It is NDC that is keeping NPP balanced. So when we come here, we are talking about political decision. It shouldn't be like some kind of a horse race. Whoever stretches his neck first is the winner. Okay. That is not the issue.
Thank you. You want to also make
briefly? Okay. I mean, if Sabo listened to me, I started with commitment on the part of political parties to disband some of these groups.
But all your examples were NPP.
Sabo, wait a minute. No, I used both NDC and NPP.
You never but let me ask you a question. It was only at the tail end. When it came to the vigilantes, you mentioned the names of
the instances here. You used NPP.
All the acts, he was saying NPP.
No, but let me ask you a question. After the Ayawaso West Wogon, incident, a committee was formed as part of the recommendations. They advised the political parties to disband the groups in them. What is your party's commitment in disbanding the groups in NED?
Right now, just mention on this show. Just mention any vigilante group that you know that they are operating.
Wait a minute.
Mention it.
Have you disbanded the Delta forces? Have you disbanded the
please, have you seen them?
Have you disbanded the Bulldogs?
I'm asking you, have you seen them operating ever since after the committee?
Why do we see? Wait a minute. Do we see vigilante?
You are a media person. If you have evidence of that, why not bring it to the fore so that we all fight them?
Don't pretend as if.
Sabo, let him also make his point.
No. He's saying something that which means what is feeding the power is that which means those forces are those vigilantes are self-operating.
Okay,
that's what it means. And I'm saying that if you have any evidence, he should put it here so that
I don't think that
the other agencies are listening. So that they can help us get those people.
I don't think that vigilante groups have.
Sabo, respectfully, I think that sometimes we raise these questions because of the belief that we didn't see a lot of commitment from government, in going ahead with the recommendations that were given by the short committee. You remember, short committee gave some recommendations. Government decided not to implement those recommendations. And that's why sometimes we are skeptical as to whether or not they have been disbanded or not. That is why it's always been the case.
I don't have any problem with that. Okay. That is why in my submission, I decided not to even mention any vigilante group in NDC. I hope you are getting me. Because if you push me to the wall, I will not be able to substantiate whatever I will say here. But if you are, I mean, what do you call it? You have mentioned certain groups that you believe that they have not been disbanded, then help us, because for me, as I sit here, I know they don't operate. Okay, I've never seen any of them activities.
Just make your point briefly and then let's move on to that issue.
I want you to understand that vigilante groups do not have an office where they operate from.
My brother.
Now, until some of these political parties fuel them, that is when you see them operating. But we are questioning the commitment of all the parties. Wait a minute, but we are heading into an election. And look at what has happened at Banda, for instance. It is believed that these
So which vigilante group was that? Which one?
So would you deny that the attacks are
which one did it Banda? So I will take the case from here.
That those persons who perpetrated
I want you to mention the vigilante group that did the thing in Banda. No,
I have a simple question. Would you deny or admit that the persons who perpetrated the crime at Banda are thugs affiliated to the New Patriotic Party?
You are saying thugs. And not vigilantes.
What's the difference between thugs, vigilantes, and all of that?
Anyway, on my own, if you threaten my life and I decide to
let's conclude.
I can be referred to as a thug.
Let's conclude on this matter.
I don't know that.
You wanted to make a quick. What's your point again?
So what I'm trying to say is that it is about commitment on the part of the parties, the political parties who are supporting, who are financing these.
No, just say it's a commitment on the part of MPP because you are always talking about MPP. So talk say or not MPP.
Make a point.
I pretend as if I didn't hear you, but basically the political parties must be committed in disbanding some of these groups. For me, I think that they are not committed in any way to disband them, and that's a more reason why 2020 looks very scary.
Good morning to you, KOD. The vigilante groups will continually be with us as long as political parties directly and indirectly benefit from their activities. These groups are now recruited into national security. If a politician tells you, I care about you, you need to think twice. Edwin Tenge from Takrade sent in this one. Good morning to you, KOD. Please ask the MPP man, when are they going to commence the NAPCO recruitment? This one also says, good morning to you, KOD. This is Labaika Lahuma Labaika. What a beautiful name. May I know from you if birth certificate is illegal to register a Ghanaian, so will it be illegal to remove death set of a Ghanaian on a voters register? This matter. Good morning to you, KOD. The vigilantes have been infused into the state security agencies. Alhaji Mohammed Doku sent in this particular message. Showboy, I've seen your message. I won't mind you. From Obama Kweuta, the defeat that awaits NDC is inevitable. No amount of noise and propaganda about the EC will save them. They hired politangs like Franklin Kudjo Zimani Africa. Cannot save them. EC BVR kits are new, so Franklin Kudjo must stop his lies. NDC will not help him. Register to get your voters card to vote for more for another. Yeah, I asked this question, and in fact, I tagged them, some of our reporters, to find out whether the BVRs that they are using are new BVRs, because it appears they are old. Positive change in Medina says this year's election is all about competence and corruption. We shall see who is super clearing agent. The Akufo-Addo is a working corrupt president. John Mahama is incorruptible and cannot be tagged with Airbus scandal. Regards to lawyer Francis Osu, next MP for Medina. Good morning to you, Kwame. Vigilante groups will only stop operating if the political parties agree with their whole heart to stop them. From CS Tenge in Oti region. Tell the MPP man to be Ghanaian and not necessarily a politician. What did he say that makes him? Anyway, good morning to you, Kwame. Please tell Sabo he should not be talking Nora from Takrade. You know, when you are responding to something that somebody has said, I think it's important to state exactly what the person said and rebut that assumption. I think that's how. Okay, what's up with Honorable Ebi Hussein? Bring him on because we miss him. Hey, Sabo. This your head, dear Charlie Varsland, pal. Good job to every single person inside the studio, and we will forever stay glued to Pan-African television, especially your show and Alaji and Alaji. They are the best TV shows in Ghana so far. From Abdul Hanan inside Nalung, Tamale South constituency. Good morning to you, Kwame, and your panelists. This is the time the youth of Ghana should ignore our party leader. No youth should fight with each other. Seydou Agose Larry from Bekwai. This one also says, KOD asked Sabo his take on the white paper about the violence at Ayawaso West Wagon. Yeah, Sabo, maybe after that you can respond to that, right? What? Your take on the white paper. You know the short committee report, the white paper that I was talking about. Somebody wants to know your take on it. Good morning to KOD. The MPP man spoke very well on the issues of vigilantism, which is how they are all the time. Always talking about not acting. They had an opportunity to prove their talk when this Ayawaso probe was given to the president. What did they do? I want to hear Sabo's take on that too. Reverend Anato Okanse from Kaswa. Good morning to you, heavyweight champion KOD. I'm deeply surprised by the Supreme Court ruling. Essentially, what it means is that Ghana card and passport, which is the only requirement for identification by EC, is illegal. Technically, you cannot get both documents without birth certificate. How next? However, the next NDC government has a lot of work to do, including cleaning up judiciary, because currently it has turned upside down for political reasons. Birth certificate is no longer proof of nationality of any Ghanaian. Wow, Supreme Court of Ghana has sadly turned Supreme Justice of Akufo-Addo. Sad for the country. Good morning to you, Kwame. The President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, should spare us time to sleep for a day. With the level of insecurity in the country, why can MPP thugs be misbehaving and attacking citizens in their cause of in the cause to register for the voters' ID card? Hardships all over the country, deceit, high cost of living, unemployment on the rise, sanitation problems, EC pardon figures in the MPP strongholds. Oh, Nana, God save our homeland, Ghana. Ghana from this super incompetent government and bring back the visionary leader John Mahama. Sheihu Burukusung in Tamale. Good morning to you, KOD. Don't you think Ghanaians will be better off without the current police service? I think their services are without integrity. Even commercial drivers don't respect them. Mamaga Sika sent in this one. This one says, please, Mr. Host, why don't you read my message? Tell the MPP man in front of you to inform the NADO to address this vigilantism issue. They orchestrated it. This one says, KOD, please ask Sabo when his government, when is the government going to pay teacher salary arrears, as he claimed that last week on this program. KOD, good morning to you. Please, with all due respect, this kind of confusion and fighting going on must be looked at very closely. I keep on saying former president, civil society organization, the clergy and the rest should talk against it and make sure the police are doing the right thing, because I keep on saying I see danger ahead of these elections. John Kweko from Takrade sent in this one. The Mali president must resign. He is nearly selling the whole country to France, and he has connived with the rebels to kidnap the largest opposition leader. My greetings to you. Ibrahim from Cape Coast sent in this one. I only have one word for the MPP government. When injustice become law, resistance become a duty. Kamal Din from Tamale Central. Please, I'm Tete from Krobo Dumasi. We are facing the same problem here in Krobo Dumasi with these vigilante groups from the camp of the Deputy Eastern Regional Minister, and I don't know what will happen. Is this the all die be die? Thank you. Okay. Good morning to Pan-African Television. I think that military should be used more than the police, because military maltreats when seen at polling stations. By Nicholas Collins, I don't know what you mean by maltreat. Nana Nkwaso Hene Akon Esquire, Accra, East Legon. The Supreme Court decision clearly suggests that no state institution can rely on birth certificate to offer any services reserved for Ghanaians. So, for instance, one, what documents will the passport office demand to warrant the issuance of passports to Ghanaian citizens? Ghanaians must never forgive this judgment if the unimaginable decision exacerbates our citizenship situation. The blame for any fatality that is occasioned by this reckless decision must squarely lie with the President and the Chief Justice of Ghana. Thank you very much, my boss, for your message. Pajo of Big Joe Shoes near Kwara Sumake. Thank God Interpol hands at a Mahama over alleged 3.9 million euro bribe payment to Ghanaian officials. I think former President Mahama should be ready for a judgment. OPK Goso says Interpol issues bench warrant to arrest Mahama's brother Sama Mahama in the Airbus bribery scandal. It's right, and they should tell us who is government official one. Okay. Messages coming in but are not related to the subject matter, but I'll still try and read some of them for you anyway. Good morning to you, Senior KOD. I want to use Pan-African Network to tell FPP communicators and the President that we, the ordinary people, are not interested in the so-called Airbus issues, but we are interested in the food. We are interested on the food to be put on our table. Koteka Courage sends this one in from Alaga. Let me read a few Facebook messages before I come to you and Sabo on the next subject matter. Mohammed Ibrahim Al-Hassan says, good morning to you, Pan-African Television. Thank God it's Friday morning, and always trust your gut feeling better today. I wish you all the best. Jim Rich says, great work, keep it up. Agu Ransford Tete says, this face shield is not good enough to prevent the virus. Please use the nose mask. We know, we use them. God love Edu Dankwa Nesta says, good morning to you, Ghana. Good morning to you, Kumasi. Musa Abato, I've read your message already. Sedu Larry, I've read your message already. Pope Junior Bredu says, hi, I'm Kevin Bredu from Awoshi. Please tell Sabo to stop defending. Okay, we all know that MPP are wicked people. Okay, they don't talk about the life of the Ghanaian. Okay. Okanse Absalom says, good morning to you, KOD. Sabo spoke, I think I've read this message already, Reverend. Ibrahim Washara says, politicians don't care about Ghanaians. AU Farouk in Tamale North says, good morning to you, KOD. Why is this government not listening to parent and teacher unions to close down the SHS for the safety of our children? The government is too clueless. Ibrahim Washara, well, Joe Ezio says, these politicians form vigilante groups and recruit well-meaning Ghanaian youth and go on and send their own children abroad to be safe for them, but putting the lives of these youth at risk. MPP and NDC, please, let's get serious. Good morning to you, Honorable KOD. Good morning to you, sir. Nene Tete Akusaki says, ask him why he gave the agents something. Why he gave the agents something since they will be paid by the directors. I think he's talking about Sabo. Daniel Doma says, good morning to you, KOD. In fact, Mr. Justice, you have hit hard. Mr. Sabo is about to vomit you out. Sometimes I agree with Sabo on his submissions because he speaks the truth sometimes. Mr. Justice, you too, more fire. Safian Ibrahim, good morning to KOD. Kotoka Gameli says, oh, I think I've read this one on WhatsApp. Daniel Domate from Adas says, good morning to you, KOD. In fact, Mr. Justice, I've read this one. Yao Nibel says, watching you live in Kumasi, Yao Peter, Nanado will lose, even if they read the elections. Every meaningful Ghanaian has rejected Nanado and his government, unless thieves and criminals who are stealing from the state. So, let's move on and look at the other issues here. I want to respectfully, right.
Some of the testers just said something. I want to make it clear that there has never been a time in our law books where birth certificates make somebody a Ghanaian. It has never. There's nowhere in our constitution where you find that once you have Ghanaian birth certificate, you are a Ghanaian. That is why there are provisions in the birth certificate, nationality of your mother, your father, and the rest. So a birth certificate is just to indicate when and where you were born.
All right.
That is all. But it doesn't actually qualify you to be a Ghanaian.
Absolutely.
Yes, so that one, we should get it right. And I think somebody was asking a question that what about the white paper or whatever and the rest. Yes, I think that the content of the white paper, I've even forgotten most of the issues that came up. And I believe most of them also require certain things to be put in place, like state institutions and other things. And of course, certain things you cannot just take, what do you call it, a month or a year to be able to implement those things. But the most important of it all is that the banding of vigilantism. And I think that is where we should rather be pushing for, that some assurance should be given to Ghanaians, and even if possible, evidence that indeed vigilantes are banned. And if somebody is caught in the act, what will be the punishment? So that we all know. So that even when somebody commits, it's not like now that they are going to investigate, we know what the punishment is supposed to be. So I believe for that one, yes, Ghanaians will also have confidence in that particular reason. But nobody is pretending to be providing solution when indeed, what they call it, there is no solution. That is the solution that we have for now.
Roxanne in Pig Farm says, I should tell you that you are just talking just like the MPP man you are. And you guys should continue covering for these hooligans. The day of recording.
And he's also thinking just like the NDC man he is.
Anyway, so let me bring you into the conversations again. The WhatsApp number is 0260846539. So you can share with us what your thoughts are. I'll be more than willing to read them here for you on the show. So, I think let me still stay with you on the subject next topic. We're dealing with this issue about the diversionary tactics, desperate Akufo-Addo government fix Interpol arrest warrants. Please.
Yes, this particular issue, somebody even gave a text message that I was laughing over it from the Volta region, that they care about what they will get to eat, food and the rest. How do you get the food? It's not money that you use to buy the food. And if somebody is chopping the money that will be used to buy the food for you and they are going for the money, you say you don't care, you want the food. How do you get it? You see, corruption is corruption. This one, I quite remember when the issue of Waterville, when the issue of isophotum, the gallopers, and of course the 51 or the 52 million Ghana cedi paid to Wyoming and the rest came up, and we're talking about these things. The same way these same people were saying that it's propaganda, nothing of that sort ever happened, and the rest. When finally, the then citizen vigilante, that is Joshua Hamidu, decided to take it to court, and it was tested in court, we were proved right. Up to date, I don't even know whether the money have been paid to Ghanaians or not. I know why you may still battling with it, but the others, I don't have the up-to-date records of the as the status of those monies. Again, when this Airbus issue came, the same people came again, propaganda, even up to now, even with Interpol even issuing this arrest warrant, people are still saying that it's a propaganda and the rest. Today, it's not from Ghana. That's an international, worldwide, that they have also delved into the matter. And it is the company itself who admitted the whole deal. And it's about $3 million US plus going to an individual person's pocket at the detriment of a whole nation. So Kwame, this particular crime is not a small crime at all. Quite apart from that, there's no anything like witch hunting anywhere. If Ghanaians have entrusted the management of this country into our hands, it behoves on us to make sure that whatever is due for this country must be given to this country. So if we realize that somebody somewhere sometime took some money that belongs to the state and has decided to put the money in his or her private pocket, and we have decided to investigate, and the issue is now, very clear that indeed what we were actually looking for has come to light. Why not go, even for now, the Ghanaian government, where it is, it's not yet, maybe what the interest we will have in this case is that whatever is due us as a state must be given to us, and whatever punishment that is there for whoever perpetrated the crime must also be given to the person. But don't forget that the person involved is the brother of the presidential candidate and the then president of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama. And I'm told that the gentleman is also called something Adam.
Samuel.
Yes, Samuel. I think there's Adam too in the name.
Samuel, Mahama. Adam Mahama, in some cases, Foster Mahama.
So you can imagine Samuel Adam Mahama, and in some cases Foster Mahama. This one alone, I will tell that this guy is not straightforward. Because what kind of names is so it means that Adam Sabu Abdurrahman, in some cases Albert Adam Sabu. So which one am I actually using? And which one is even on my passport, and what have you. So, and of course, it was a government business. And we also need to know in what capacity did he front for the country. Because if we are going for aircrafts, then I know that it will be the aviation ministry and the Ministry of Finance that will be in the forefront to enter into the deal on behalf of Ghana. But this man, that's why I couldn't even make, I don't know him. And I don't know who he is. So Ghanaians would like to know, in what capacity did he actually even fund this one? And quite apart from that, if indeed he's related to the president, that's conflict of interest even in the first place. That's conflict of interest. These are some of the things that we've been talking about. The fact that even if you remember, when the son of President Kufuor then was building a hotel with his own money and other things, I mean, there were issues around about the hotel just because the father was a president. How much more a deal that's a national something that's supposed to be done by state officials, and somebody is involved that we don't even know the office that he operates from, because he was not a minister. He has never been a minister in this country. Neither has he ever been a CEO in this country. So definitely, I mean, they should tell us in what capacity did he do that. And of course, this one is Interpol, not us. When Interpol finishes with him, then we also grab him and also do our own thing. And I know where it is going. There's a popular saying in Dagbani that when diarrhea is going around a house, it is the landlord that it is looking for. I know definitely it is yet to land. And when it lands on the master himself, that is where, in fact, NDC will realize that they should have gone, in fact, they should have made a better choice. Because where things are going, anyway, December election is going to be an interesting one. And per our law books, I don't think it will be easy for the NDC within this short time to get another candidate and be able to market that candidate to a point that the candidate can even rub shoulders with Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. Don't forget that he was even a president. He was even in the seat that he contested against President Nana Akufo-Addo. And President Nana Akufo-Addo beat him almost 1 million votes. How much more now that he's even out of the way, and with all these scandals around him, and of course with the kind of buoyant economy that we have, and the economy has been tested by COVID-19 and it's been resilient against COVID-19. I believe it were to be under John Dramani Mahama, who have been in submarine by now. They only be hearing of us, but not actually seeing us as a country. But we are still on surface, and we are doing very well to the extent that in the history of this country, a president was able to provide good meal for its citizens. A president was able to provide free education for its citizens. A president was able to provide electricity for its citizens free of charge. The president was able to provide good drinking water for its citizens. Over 3,000, was it 3,000? Yeah, over 3,000 plus Ghanaians died out of cholera under the watch of this president. That's President John Dramani Mahama. No water. No, there was nowhere in this country that water was even provided free. When we know very well that cholera is a waterborne disease. If you want to fight cholera, then you must actually start it from providing good drinking water. Did he actually care for Ghanaians? If indeed he knew that in order to keep that particular distance, they should have gone in, or they should have provided good drinking water for Ghanaians, and he refused to do that. And today this president is doing that, and the same person turn around and say that yes, it is the people's right, it is the people's tax money and what. Then were we not paying tax? So this is the make of what they call NDC, and this is the story that we've been telling Ghanaians all this while. Nobody actually, like I said earlier on, if NDC is not in place, me personally, I don't think I'll be happy. Because when they are in place, that's where they give out quality leadership. Because when you go to the competitive market, it is the variety of products that makes the customer a king. That all the producers are rushing over the customer as to which choice he should make. But if there's only one product, of course, the producer is the king. If you want, come and buy. If you don't want, go and die. And we don't want such in this country. Definitely, yes, NDC should be around to provide us alternative government, but not this type of government that we are looking for. Ghana is actually looking for people who can push them forward, who can actually propel their fortunes upwards, and not people who come and dip their hands into the coffers of Ghana and then sink it to their families and then friends. And at the end of the day, the same people turn around and be accusing somebody running a family and friends government when the capable people are being appointed in positions. That one, I even wonder, one said people were working in public sectors and the rest. That one, they were not benefiting from family and friends. But the fact that they are related to a particular or the certain president, and by means of qualification and assessment, they've gotten a job, that one it becomes an issue of family and friends. I never spoke about what they call him, Ibrahim Muhammad, because before the President Muhammad became a president, he was already a contractor. So the fact that his brother has become a president doesn't mean that he's winning the contract, even if it is so that the contract he's winning it because his brother is a president. Of course, he has the capacity and everything to execute that contract. And maybe contracts most often go through bidding. And he was able to also win the bid. That's why I don't have any problem. But where a whole concessionary was given to him at the detriment of the country, the bauxite issue, that's the only point that I had a problem with what do you call it, the brother of the former president. That's Ibrahim Muhammad. But apart from that, he's a very nice gentleman. He's a hard-working person. He's earning from his pocket and effort. Yes, and everybody will wish him to do. And he has employed people, Ghanaians, to also get job and to do. But where he wants to take our leniency to be our weaknesses, then for that one, I think we need to stand up and fight for what is due us as a country. And in this regard, I'm also using it by extension, sending a warning signal to our own people that today we are in government. Be very mindful of the deal that you get yourself involved in. The very document that you've gone through to get some people being exposed today, those documents will also be left behind. And whoever will also take office will also have access to those documents. And no matter how intelligent you are, records will finally expose you. So do what is right and take what is due you.
Thank you. Justice.
All right, Kwame, thank you so much. Let me state on record that if anyone is found guilty, I mean, the law must take its course because we deal with rule of law in this country. But coming to the issue of a certain, red alert issued by Interpol and all of that, I would want to question the authenticity of the said red alert. I mean, if you read the paper, this is Daily Post, it tells you that the paper conducted a search on the website of Interpol, at least to check the authenticity of this, arrest warrant. Unfortunately, they didn't see any result. And I checked on my phone. I'm on Interpol, website.
Which one is that?
Interpol.ent. I searched, and so that's the website of Interpol. And I have keyed in red notice 7306 because I believe that is what has been put on the said red alert. And I've been giving results, actually. I have about 200 and something results over here. Unfortunately, I have not seen anything as such on the website of Interpol. And that is the more reason why I am questioning the authenticity of this particular, arrest warrant they are talking about, because I've seen Interpol issued red notice for Iraq vice president. That one is here. Red notice issued for Paul Watson of Japan's request. That is here. All of those, arrest warrants and then red notices are captured on the front on the website of the Interpol. Unfortunately, I have searched and searched and searched. I've not seen that of the one issued to arrest a certain Adams Mahama or Foster Adams Mahama and all of that. And so, for me, as I stated earlier, if anybody committed any crime and it's against this country, the law must take its course. But in doing so, we should also make sure that in order for us not to tarnish the image of people and all of that, we have to authenticate some of these things. Quite apart from that, I mean, you are very well versed when it comes to, the laws of this country and beyond. The fact that Interpol has issued an arrest warrant for somebody, does that mean that the person is guilty of any crime? When the person has not been tried in any court or any competent court of jurisdiction to have said that you are guilty of crime A, B, C, and D. And so we can then boldly say that this person has done this or that. Why are people in a haste to be on social media, to be everywhere on TV, radio, to paint a picture as though the gentleman, even if Interpol has issued an arrest warrant, he has committed any crime? Is it to score a certain political, you know, point and all of that? Why would people be on social media? Why would people be on TV, radio, as I said earlier, trying as much as possible to find fault? Yes, we heard. I mean, we've seen the report from SFO and all of that. They said a certain, government official, one and its, you know, allies and all those things perpetrated a certain crime. Fantastic. But this person we are talking about has not been tried and tested. I don't even think that in conducting the investigations, he was even contacted to deny or confirm the allegations leveled against him. And so why must we sit here and paint a picture as though Sabo authoritatively would have to say that, well, this should serve a notice to other persons? As far as I'm concerned, no competent court of jurisdiction has declared that he's guilty of any allegations leveled against him. And so let's be mindful of some of the things we see. What if tomorrow he's tried in court and it happens that he's not guilty? The harm has already been caused. And so let's be mindful of how to handle some of these issues, not to tarnish people's image and all of that.
We've seen some media houses spearhead this particular process.
Yes.
Of expose, you know, very respectable media organizations have put out this information. So are you saying that, you know, those media houses did not do their background checks before putting out this information?
Kwame, if you ask me, yesterday I think that at the point I showed you the report from a respectable media house in this country. We're all media men, actually. But one thing I raised in that report has to do with the fact that where was the publication? Of course, the arrest warrant in itself. If you have published a story and you have the arrest warrant, it is only appropriate that that is it. But we've not seen anything of that sort. Kwame, I as a journalist...
So you think this is an agenda setting?
It is possible.
But for what purpose?
For whatever
and to what end?
Well, I don't know why some media houses will engage in some of these things. But I have done my search. Probably I didn't do my search well. But if I have done my search well and I'm on the website of Interpol, they have published other arrest warrants on their website, and this particular one is not there.
Maybe the ones that they've published are of grave imperative, so they decided to publish those ones. Especially, you know, you're talking about the Prime Minister of Iraq and things like that. These are, for instance, people who have committed some war crimes, or some international financial whatever, you know. So they decided to publish those ones.
This is equally international financial
transactions. But no, I'm saying of a certain monumental nature. Okay, so maybe they have decided to put those ones there on the website. But perhaps, I mean, they've issued a red alert, but they've not necessarily published it. It's also possible.
You see, I would not question the source of anybody's document and anybody's information. But if it would be so obvious to know the authenticity of some of these media houses carrying out, this report, it would have been fair. It would have been great. But especially when, we've seen media houses publishing the story, and when you read the story in itself, it is very difficult to get the head and tail of some of these stories.
Why do you say that?
It's difficult to get.
What's the basis of saying that?
Fine. If I read a story, I mean, at all costs, by the end of the story, I should know that yes, this is so true. This is emanating from this cortex. This is coming from here, and this is what
but this is. I mean, it's very debatable and very arguable what you are espousing, because you have very respectable media organizations put out an information, which information sought to connect the communique to an organization that is respected, and they know that putting out the information will make people a lot more curious as to even go on their websites to go and check and to find out whether what they've put out is authentic or otherwise, right?
Have we not
Why
seen,
do you think people will put their credibility on the line?
Have we not seen some of these media houses publish stories that were false?
Which one?
No, are you saying that no credible media house in this country has ever published a story that was false?
But most media houses also publish stories that are true.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
But it doesn't also mean that such media houses cannot publish false stories.
I mean, your definition of falsehood is what I'm trying to challenge.
So what I'm saying,
because the point is that why is it that you just picking the cherries and eating them without necessarily appreciating whether it is bitter or not? The point is, there was an issue about this Airbus scandal, correct? Right? We had an issue about this. I mean, this issue came about Airbus scandal. We had government official one. We had the court ruling that came out, you understand, to augment that which was already in the public domain. So it is not as though this is a concocted story or a cooked story, right? It's a story that is already in existence.
Okay.
Now, what has been put out by these media houses is an action that is flowing from the already existing story that we know. Which action is saying that a red alert has been issued for the arrest of Samuel Mahama, whose name was mentioned as part of the persons who dealt with the government of Ghana on the subject matter of the Airbus, brouhaha, right? So why would anybody sit in his room, put a story together for the purposes of tarnishing? Because if it comes out that the story is not true, it means that this is defamatory.
And
no, it's defamatory. And the media houses who put out or publish this particular story can be sued.
Okay.
So I'm not sure that, knowing all the ramifications that there exist in publishing false stories, they will still go ahead and publish some of these stories. Now, all of these conversations that have cropped up relative to the issues of the involvement of Samuel Mahama in the previous administration, that was superintended by the former President Mahama, for which reason it has become important now, to make him the subject matter of all of these conversations that we're having, because of that disagreement with Chairman. I don't want to believe that that may be the case, but essentially what I'm saying is that, don't you think that there's some element of truth in all of these brouhaha?
I would not doubt element of truth in this, but I am basically saying that in as much as there may be some elements of truth in probably Interpol chasing Samuel Foster Adams Mahama or whatever the name is, what I'm also saying is that at least some of these warrants should be traced. If an arrest warrant has been issued, I believe that it should be traceable. So I took my time to go through arrest warrants that have been issued on the website of Interpol. I have not seen this particular one over there.
Being part of it.
Being part of it. If arrest warrants are issued by Interpol and it has to do with one country, it has to do with between two countries, where did they issue those warrants to? Those institutions, did they confirm that indeed it is true?
No, where is that statement?
That's it. That's what I'm questioning. And up to now, I have not heard any of the institutions coming out to say that indeed it is true that an arrest warrant has been issued by Interpol. And so for me, I'm questioning the authenticity as a journalist of this arrest warrant, unless any other person proves me wrong that yes, indeed, it is true that an arrest warrant has been issued.
So,
yes, Kwame.
Yes, sir.
I think you've just taken the wind out of my mouth, because what I wanted him to also understand is that there is a saying in Dagbani that calabash does not sink underwater. So if you force it underwater, when you get tired and you lift your hand, it will come back to the surface. And the accounts also have a saying that if your mother is dead and you are saying that she's sleeping, when she begins to decay, nobody will tell her she's really dead. So I think the case has just started coming. And better still, like you were saying, if media houses like Joy FM and the rest, that we know they are very prominent in the media landscape and the rest, should come out with this story, knowing very well that it is not true, what do they stand to benefit from it? Do they stand to lose more than any benefit that is associated with it. And quite apart from that, if Ghana government is the one doing this, just saying that Interpol is looking for somebody, when indeed Interpol will not arrest that person, I mean, what will Ghana government get out of it? I mean, what benefit will it come with? And like I told you, even the gentleman mentioned, I don't know him. And he has not been in any public office. I don't know. I stand to be corrected. He might have been there, but maybe I didn't hear of him. I mean, it's not somebody that we know much. So if this person is being implicated, and then Interpol will also not arrest him, then what do we stand to benefit by saying that Interpol is looking for him or he's wanted by Interpol? So I believe you should have done your background check very well. And then also, or better still, you should have also liaised with the media houses, because you are in the same distance, for them to also tell you how they came by this story. And I believe it will have also helped us to get to the bottom of this. But like I said, when we get to the river, we'll cross one by one.
Okay. Briefly, I think Sabo should understand something. That media houses, we are not saints, and we are fallible. We make mistakes. So that's how come sometimes you see some people,
but this one,
some portals,
what you are saying, it is very clear, very clear for everybody to read in between the line.
What I'm saying is that we make mistakes.
Where will they benefit from? The Interpol is looking for somebody. When Interpol will not arrest the person, when Interpol can easily be reached.
What motivated other media houses to publish stories and later retract? You understand? This kind
of story, not this kind of story.
No, but you tell us the kind of stories
you can only tell lies.
No, I'm saying
on the
it's
dead
simple.
One, but not the living.
It's simple. I'm saying that what motivated other media houses or some media houses who publish stories
I get all right, but in this case,
so
what does the media house stand to benefit from?
I'm trying to point out to you that media houses, we are not saints. We make mistakes.
Media houses sometimes want to just sell their distance, so they can tell lies to sell their distance. But this one, what are they going to get from it?
What happens is that sometimes we are so in a haste to break the news, and so if we are unable to do background checks or cross-check the story, we put the story out there just to make sure that, I'm the first media house to break the news. We've seen this, Kwame. We've seen this several times.
But Kwame told you earlier on that this thing has been in the news, not today. So it's not a new
we are talking about the arrest warrant.
Okay, well, so good morning to you, KO. The Akufo-Addo has failed woefully. Like they listened to, if they had listened to the Messiah Kwesi Pratt, the COVID-19 would not have increased to this number. Ghanaians must give CPP the green light. Where is the vice president, the campaign economist, righteous, exalt a nation, but corruption is the people is the people's distraction. Bibi from Douala sent in this one. This one says, I saw this on my joy.com. Okay, where is it? Let me see. Okay, there's something here. Okay, well, there's something called, they said fugitive wanted for prosecution. I've seen something like that. I don't know if that's what the gentleman wants me to read. There's also this. Okay. Maybe just you have to check control number A-6027/2020. So this is what I've seen. Somebody sent this to me. That is published on Joy FM. All right.
It's an A-.
Hold on, I'm just. This one also says, good morning to Pan-African TV. My question is, how come that the information is not found on Interpol's website from Action inside Danso? Good morning to you, Champion K. They kindly inform Sabo to understand that the said gentleman, Samuel Mahama, did not front for Ghana in the purchase of the aircraft. He rather acted as an agent on behalf of Airbus. Isahaku from Tamale sent in this one. Good. Sefia Moklu says, imagine election results were declared in favor of MPP come December 7th, only for NDC to detect anomalies in the figures. Will it just be enough to say there were computational errors and that ends it? Well, granted the EC agrees the results were padded. What then will the position of the courts we see today in their delivery of judgment? Good morning to KOD. Please, I'm appealing to my party NDC to talk to, pay and monitor our polling agents well with vigilance, because we don't want the happening in 2016 again happening in 2020. Lagbaja, in Accra. Good morning to you, KOD. Justice has made my day great. We want such journalists to always do their search well before voicing out. Kudos, Justice Gideon from Japa, Accra. Upper West region. Good morning to you, KO. The media houses should tell us if they received letters of the Red Alert direct, because it should be on the official website of Interpol. TV3 did their checks yesterday on live TV and said it's not on the official Interpol website. Collins from Takrade sent in this one. Now, Boat from Kaswa says, Mr. Journalist, after you did your search, did it come up that it was desperate Akufo-Addo government who faked it? This one is from Yamoha Inwa. Says, KO, the Sabo is saying $3 million is huge money. Safmafo and Kroll Associates are hoarding $100 million for no work done, which has landed the Auditor General to go and rest for 6 months. Ghana is bleeding more under Akufo-Addo. Sabo should be truthful. This government is not listening. Close schools, you said no, because you are a Akufo-Addo graduate. Tell the MPP man to go and check Interpol website and stop doing this false analysis. For now, where is Ghana official one? Dominic from Ada sent in this one. AU Farouk in Tamale North says, good morning to you, KOD. To my humble KOD and your panelists, why is this government not listening to parents and teachers? Okay, you are still on about. It's reckless, highly reckless, to bypass Ghanaians who are capable to establish their own country, natural resources, and to give to a foreign investor. Sabo, Sabo said what? Sabo from King Henry in Axim. We use birth certificate to get NIA card and passport. This is very interesting. Kwame, Sabo is a gentleman, but I'm surprised he said birth certificate doesn't make you a Ghanaian, but only indicates your place of birth. But is he aware that some politicians send their pregnant wives abroad just to give them American citizenship to their babies upon delivery? The MPP should show leadership as a ruling party and campaign on developmental issues, rather, and what they intend to do moving forward. This strategy of making the former president unpopular will not win them any elections. Isaac from Takrade sent in this particular message. Good morning to you, Pan-African TV. My name is Abdul Rahman Yakubu from Nandom. In fact, Sabo is miseducating us. My brother. Now I do not like you, Sabo. You are not balanced. You are the one in government. You are the one who is in government. You should know better. But to support Danado and condemn John means you are not balanced at all. Nana is corrupt too, and with Nana's corruption record, it far exceeds NDC's Mahama. Kwame, I have not experienced such voter registration before. Violence upon violence, beatings, shootings, and killings. Kwame, if we're experiencing these bad things, what do you think will happen on the on voting day? From Amos in Asin Fosu. The messages are chow. Good morning to you, KOD. Some people are saying they are very disappointed in you today with your submission. I don't know, and they don't specifically state what you said that is making them disappointed. But let's look at the electricity bills, 17.5%. Justice, let me start with you now.
But let me just the
quickly,
certificate, the birth certificate.
Please.
That is the American law. But per our law, you still have to apply, even when you were born in Ghana and your two parents are not Ghanaians. You still have to apply for the citizenship. But the American law, for them, I'm told when you are born in that state, then automatically you become a citizen.
Yeah. Let's look at the electricity tariff, 17.5. We just have about 2 minutes, so please.
Okay, Kwame, thank you so much. This one there, I'll not waste a lot of time on that. I've just referenced the New Patriotic Party to when they assumed office. Some of the things they said. They told Ghanaians categorically that they've reduced tariffs in this country, electricity and water. Later, they sort of increased electricity a bit. Today, we are seeing another increment. And so, who do they think they are fooling? Do they think they are fooling Ghanaians? Look, I pay electricity bill. Let me say I pay tariffs, both water and electricity. I know how it feels for some of these bills to be paid. And so, for cheap political, purposes, you assumed office and you tell Ghanaians that I have reduced electricity bill, I have reduced water bill, only for Ghanaians to realize that you are increasing it bit by bit. Who are you doing crop on the job?
Let's close. Yes, sir.
This is very laughable.
This is crop on the job. They have deceived that.
This what?
They have deceived that.
It's called crop
on the job. They are doing that crop on the job.
Kwame, we're in this country when a frustrated president asked us to use one mobile phone. That is because we are using 2 or 3 mobile phones. That is why the Danso is lingering. And we're paying high electricity tariff, and yet we're not getting the electricity. Today, thank God, 24/7.
Thank you.
We have electricity.
Bam.
And we're even paying at a reduced rate as compared to Danso era.
Piao.
So if we have even leveled it to the Danso era and still have electricity,
Piao.
I believe all things being equal, nothing has been added to the tariff.
Thank you very much.
What's your contribution?
It has been an amazing time with you here on the morning show. Time well spent. Thank you very kindly for all your messages. I'm super grateful to every one of you for sending in your messages today. My name is Kwame Owusu. So why is the camera not on me and it's on all of us when I'm the one talking? This is my producers. Is somebody sleeping in the MCR? I'll see you guys on Monday. But tomorrow is Al-Haji and Al-Haji. It's going to be a wonderful program tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. This one says, happy birthday to Sharon Rose Kono. I hope it's Kono, Deputy Procurement Coordinator of Promasidor Ghana Limited, from Patricia Adekum of Logistics Department. Promasidor, for me contract. I need adverts. You know Promasidor and you are not bringing us advert. Look at your head like something. And thank you very much, Sabo. Thank you, Justice. And also tonight on the couch with Amma Pratt, it's going to be a very wonderful conversation with Amma and Madame Estacoba. You do not want to miss this interview. It's going to be a personality profile tonight. It starts at exactly 7:30. You do not want to miss today's edition of the couch with Amma Pratt. Also today, I'm sure you're very much aware that Newsbreak will be on. All the other programs will be on today. It's a packed day. It's a packed day. But let me say a special salutation and congratulations in advance to the incoming MP for Nalerugu Gambaga constituency. Nalerugu Gambaga constituency. Alhaji Baba Seidu Isifu, aka Alhaji Baba, aka the people's man, the people's choice, the best candidate for Nalerugu Gambaga. Whether you are NDC, whether you are MPP, you have to vote for him. See, because you have to necessarily vote for people who will unite you, okay? Who will ensure that there is unison in your thoughts. Very much so. Very divided. Under this current MP, they are very divided. This MP who cannot even tolerate her own people. Very divided. No. Alhaji Baba is a unifier. Alhaji Baba, no. Sabu, we can be joking, but I'm being honest with you. He's a unifier. I am not, because I've been in the constituency. I've interacted with people. I'm telling you the truth.
Have you been MP before?
Well, must I be an MP to I've not been. So Alhaji Baba, you are winning, and I'm coming to campaign for you. Me, I'm coming with my boot. You are winning that seat. You are winning your seat. John Kuma is winning his seat. Hassan Tampuli is winning his seat. Dr. Adama Okisi is winning his seat. All the other FOAB and all those people, they've won already. MOB is also winning his seat. Where? Suhum Amanda Ochil is winning. Mandy. In fact, your friend at Tekaso, what's her name? Now something. Nakoyo is also winning. In fact, in Mankasim, the NDC candidate is also winning. After Samuel Atamos, there he's won already. And all my friends are winning. I said, so Boachi, he's winning. Abu Jinapo, we'll think about him. After Abu Jinapo, we'll think about him. We'll think about Abu Jinapo. But Hassan Tampuli, he will win. And the conference, yeah, he will win. Yeah, he will win. Bantama Senso Boachi. We are winning. Alhaji Baba said we are winning. So I see, Bernard Warner, you have won. Mark my, see, today, what's today's date? 17th of July. Bernard, mark today's date. You have won. As for ABA, Adongo, Honorable Robert Kugagnablem, Dr. Nawani, all those people, they've won already. Dr. Rashid people, they've won in advance. Those people, they've won in advance. But this current one, Alhaji Baba Sedu. Vote Alhaji Baba Sedu. I'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend. I'll see you in Takrady. I'm coming this weekend. Let's meet and have fun. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.